Sup? So, today I wanted to go over the PMA-5. It gets a lot of flack for being hard to use, bad UI, but I think there's a lot great about it, and it actually seems pretty intuitive to me. So, let's turn it on. It uses the stylus, which we'll be using to demo today, and I'm going to walk through how to use styles for this first part. Songs are a little more complex. We'll cover that in a later video. But essentially, styles are little bases that you can use to make songs or use on their own if you need. All right, so when you start this up, you have to go over into the styles. We're going to go ahead and create a style. You can go up, down, over here, or you can drag. We're going to go to style 1. Choose our tempo. We're going to go ahead, much the same. We're going to stick at 100. Just easy. Now, some things need to be saved and some things don't, like this would require a save. As you saw, the tempo didn't, the measure length doesn't. We're going to go ahead and keep this at measure length 1 for now. Great. And the next thing to note is the instrument we're on. A1, A2, a bass, and drums. So for the drums, we are going to go ahead and start off with those. Now, I would be willing to bet that there's something in here. There is. So we want to go ahead and delete what is in there for now. Go to Edit, Erase, and you can see we can erase the drums or we can erase all. So we're going to erase all 4 of these. There's only one measure, so 1 to 1. Great. Enter, execute. Now, always use this button to go back to the first measure, first beat. Nothing. Great. So we're on our empty drums. And if we go ahead and press on here, these are our drum options. We can change out the kit first off. So exit, bass, just go to the right here. We're on power 2. Oh, who knows? Stick with power. Enter, save. Again, exit to go all the way back. Let's go ahead and now put some notes in. Yes, I could play live. We're going to save live playing for another tutorial as well. If we go to step. So first measure, first beat here. Now there's 2 ways to enter notes. One is the auto and one is the manual. I'll show you both, but for demonstration purposes really quick. If I were to click manual, and this quarter note doesn't matter for the length of the drum hit. You can do that later with durations. It actually matters for the auto, but let's say that I just want to find what something is in here. Okay, we've got the names, snares. Maybe I don't want that. Let's hit delete twice. Okay, everything's gone from there, no more delete. There is another way, of course. You can come back here, click around without having to delete, but I like going in here and just double checking where we're at. Okay, so we've got a kick, and I could click on each of these and put that kick in, or I can go auto. We're doing quarter, kick. You'll see it auto progressed, kick, kick, kick. Great. So we put our kicks down. Now, the next thing we want to do, let's go to manual again, just to find maybe a nice snare. There we go. I like the gated snare though. So our gated snare, let's go ahead and put that on beat 2 and 4. And note we're doing this manually. Okay. And again, we can exit back out to the main. Everything's still there, saved, nothing happened. Now when we play, great. So the next thing to do is go back to the beginning. Maybe we want to add some closed hats on there. So I think I'm liking something in here. Yeah. And notice it was actually going forward on me. I'm selecting to erase. There is another way to erase. Once you're in there, you can select edit for different options. So edit down here, we can erase measures, but edit while you are in the step gives you ways to play with the events. One of which is nice is you can erase individual things. You can erase the kick, the gated snare. You can select where you want to erase it in a region and then enter and get rid of that. We don't need to do that right now. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we have our pattern. I think I want some closed hi-hats in there, which I do believe are, yeah, right about there. So we come back in here and note we can go back to auto, eighth note. There we go. So you can play from here. Let's go back. You'll notice this is on measure 1, beat 4. Just go back here and sounds pretty good. Now, if you were to tell me that these were hitting a little too hard, I would tell you, that's totally fine. You can change the velocity per note. And that's totally fine. All right. So moving on from there, now that we have this nice little drum pattern going, let's add in the bass. So again, we go back to the main. We're on the bass. We've clicked the bass here. Let's select what we want. There's plenty of different instruments. We're going to go in here. And I like that. I don't want it too muddy. We're just going to play around. Okay, so next we're going to put down our bass notes, double step. Notice we're in the bass, and let's put them down manually just to show. We're going to put these down on the eighths. Not that it matters, so I'll select the whole just to show you it doesn't matter since we're on the manual. That wasn't the note I wanted, so I'm coming in here, I click on that one, delete it, leave the one I like. And again, notice that we have this velocity and duration for how long they last. It has nothing to do with the notes at the top. So we have this. That's great. Now I say, hey, I actually want changing patterns. So maybe we need to go back and change the measure length. Okay, no save necessary there. So now when we come back, if I had to guess, let's check. Measure 1, of course, looks like measure 2, 3, 4 are empty for the bass. Ooh, but it looks like it does have stuff for the drums. So there's something left over in here. So again, if we come all the way back, edit, we can erase measure for all from 2 to 4. Notice it stops me at 4 because we have 4 measures. Cool. I could also just go ahead and copy, but I want to show you that this works. Lo and behold. So Now, if I want that same drum pattern, we're going to copy drums from 1, and it's 1 measure, so 1 to 1 over to the same style 1 drum 2. So I come back in here, 4, 3 still empty, but now 2 has the drums. And notice it still doesn't have bass. Okay, and we're going to do this again, but we're going to copy the drums 1 and 2 over to style drums 3. So we're copying 1 and 2, which is 2 measures to 3. All right, and if we go into here, drums, measure 3, 4, great, we have drums. So now we should, notice I went back, bass, okay, just drums. And it will come around and repeat again just to show you. Great, so now I want progressing bass. So now let's go ahead and fill in the rest of the bass. So for the bass, I actually want to copy the first measure over to the second measure. So 2 style 1 bass 2. Okay, now if we come in here to edit, I should see on 2. Great, it's the same thing as 1. And then I'm going to have a change. So we are going to note, I'm just going to put this in manually, again for fun. Let's go down here. Is this going to be extremely musical? Absolutely not. And that's okay. Okay, and measure 4. Let's go ahead and come back up. Okay, and now if we go back, play. Great. Absolutely fantastic. So the next thing you'll tell me is, hey, but I would much rather have an intro part with just drums. So let's go ahead and go back, exit, edit. I'm actually going to copy the style. We're going to copy style 1 into style 2, which, mind you, will erase style 2. Okay, so style 2 should be the same thing. Awesome. You get the point. Style 2 is the same thing. So style 1 now, we're going to edit this. We're going to make this 1 measure. And as we did before, we're going to edit to erase the bass on that measure. Fantastic. Style 1. And style 2. Easy peasy. So you can see you can build up a bunch of styles which are different parts of a song, and next time we'll go into how to take those and put them into a song. There's a couple more things I did want to mention really quick here. So for the effects, if you hit the effects, this will give you the types you can choose between. You can then go in the mix and change per instrument. So notice a 1-2 bass drum. These are the volume, pan, reverb, and chorus for each. So the last thing to mention is the arrange modes. For the drums, there is none. A1 and 2 have a couple more options than the other ones. Chord mode. Oh, let's go over here. is an interesting one to look at first. There we go. Chord mode. Essentially, these are hard to demo, but we'll get into them when we do the live playing. When you play in live and then quantize, it will put them accordingly to where your chord is. So if you have a song that's dedicated to a certain chord, it will then place those quantized notes into your chord for you. The bass is the same, but it will take notes above a certain point and bring them down an octave for you. Nice for bass parts. Obligato lets you play leads, so it'll let you do essentially solos within the chord. And arpeggio is the same as chord, but rather than putting it on the bass chord for the 1 through 5, it's going to go ahead and put it on any note within the chord, specifically trying to keep it out of the 1 through 5 if possible. It's interesting. These are all a little hard to get used to, but when you play around with them in song mode, it gets to make a little more sense. And again, I was showing you a 1 and 2 for bass. It only has bass and obligato. And for drums, it does not have any of them. Just no range. Now to kind of give you a demo of that, if we go to the back, chord up here, we're in C, and you'll notice I started in C here. Okay, back to the start. So you'll notice as I change that, it transposes for me, and when I went up to the high B, it actually lowered the octave for me. All right, so that pretty much does it.